There's a new contender, apparently, for Secretary of State who has appeared out of thin air. Late this afternoon, our friend and colleague, MSNBC's Joe Scarborough, reported that Trump's team is now considering South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley for the coveted slot of Secretary of State. That position, over the last few days, seemed like it was headed towards either the former UN Ambassador John Bolton or the former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Many people in Trump's orbit have been unhappy with those two choices and were eager to see other people brought into the mix. This comes amidst signs of continued dissension, disruptions within Trump world. Today, many people in Trump world tried to tamp down the notion that things were going off the rails in the transition. Kellyanne Conway, Trump's campaign manager, spent the day spreading a message of calm, telling reporters in Trump Tower that building a government from scratch is tough stuff.
Well, you don't form a federal government overnight, and these are very serious issues, very serious appointments. I know the president-elect himself, since I talk to him regularly, he's very happy with how transition is going. And from his perspective, he's been presented with any number of choices within each of the agencies and departments, and he's making those tough decisions. And we have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to many of those different positions.
Just in case that message wasn't getting through, Trump went on his favorite social media megaphone today, the Twitter, to dispute the reports that there are any transition trouble. So, John, this Haley thing is big. No other major personnel news today either announced or speculated about beyond what we knew yesterday. So where do things stand?
Well, we talked about this yesterday, and we'll keep talking about it for a while, I assume. To me, they're not like running late in terms of making the major appointments to who are going to take the big jobs. That's not where the disarray is. To me, the disarray is more these reports about infighting, and more importantly, the fact that they seem really far behind in terms of doing the bigger job of staffing the government. They don't seem equipped to hire those 4,000 people, to be in contact with the existing agencies, to be interfacing with the Obama administration. That's where they're way behind. On the big jobs, Kellyanne Conway's right. They should take their time and get it right, and they're not really behind on that as of now.
I agree there are problems, and I'm not trying to minimize them, but the transition I covered most closely was Bill Clinton's in 1992. They were scrambling. They were beset by policy controversies, gays in the military, refugees. I think, again, if we get a couple weeks down the road or even a week down the road and they haven't made significant progress that we can see, then I think there's a problem. But I just don't think by historical standards they're all that far behind.
Well, I mean, again, the bottom line is Bloomberg yesterday reporting that there still was no contact going on between the Trump transition and the major agencies. Yeah. But I think they are behind by that measure.
I have no idea.
Undoubtedly. Again, the more recent examples, I mean, again, we have kind of weird history here, right? 1992 is now a long time ago. 2000 was kind of screwy because of the recount and not knowing who the president was until so late. Barack Obama and his team, meticulous that they were way ahead of the curve, probably by some historical standard. I don't know. But look, let's talk about Nikki Haley, though, because it's an interesting thing. You know, you pointed out a lot of pushback for a lot of reasons against Rudy Giuliani. Now there's discussion of Giuliani's conflicts with people on the countries on the terror watch list that he's had as clients. Nikki Haley would be, symbolically at least, a hugely positive sign. Symbolically. I don't know what kind of depth she has on foreign policy, but just the notion of choosing a mainstream Republican, non-white woman in that job would be a huge step on Trump's part.
I'm not predicting this will be the lineup, but let's say Jeff Sessions decides to stay in the Senate and be kind of Trump's man in the Senate. Right. If you had Ted Cruz at Justice Department, Nikki Haley at State, Tom Cotton at Defense, and Jamie Dimon at Treasury, that would get a lot of people's attention.
There's a lot of ifs there, obviously.
I'm just saying,
but those
are people I think all are potentially in contention, and that would be a cabinet that would please a lot of people.
The left would be really unhappy about a lot of them, but they're going to be unhappy about anything. No, I'm saying they're going to be unhappy about anything. But those are picks that would be really different from some of the names we've been hearing up till now.